Hey gang, Uncle Todd here, and if you couldn't tell, trouble here, we are doing ninjas tonight. It's a very interesting film, a real genre buster, as it deals with ninjas, possession, exorcism, revenge, and a sort of love story. Oh, and there's aerobic dancing in it. It could have only been done in the 80s. This is Ninja 3, The Domination. Stars Lucinda Dickey, who was a not a martial artist. She was a professional dancer. Trained since she was like about 3. So although she was not a martial artist, much like Summer Glau, she could fake it because of her dance training. Now, this is from Canon, and she made 3 films for Canon. Although this was her debut as a starring in a film, this one did not get released first. Breaking got released first, which played to her strong suit, dancing. That was such a huge hit, they decided to rush out Ninja 3, even though it was still in post-production, and they decided they needed a better ending. So they brought Lucinda back to do some reshoots. Unfortunately, at that point, she had cut her hair for the Breaking movie. So they had to get her in a wig, a really obvious wig. And then after she did that, she then immediately went into Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. And after that, that was about the end of her film starring career at Canon. The film opens with someone who will be identified in the credits as the Dark Ninja. And although he is a dark ninja, he wears gray. And getting himself all accoutramented with all of his killing things. You know, shurikens, sais, katana, bow, arrow, smoke thingies that he throws down, you know, all that stuff. He goes to a golf course in broad daylight to kill a man and his bodyguards. And he immediately shows he's not kidding around. That is actually an important plot point that will come up later. Anyway, he lays waste to everybody.
Hold it! Watch it!
Well, bodies are soon discovered, and the police are called, which leads to a real massacre.
Get the gun! Off the son of a bitch! Hold on, I'll get him!
After some more chasing, they manage to surround him, and then they have the typical police response. amazingly, he escapes. Where, getting away from the police, he is spotted by our heroine, Christy, who is a power line electrician. She's up on top of a pole fixing the phones lines and power lines and stuff. And she sees him. So she goes back down the pole to see if he needs any help. And then he does something unexpected. Well, she, of course, was taken to police headquarters to give a statement. She can't tell them much. And then we meet our other nominal hero, Stockard, Billy Stockard. He's an officer.
The name's Secord. Billy Secord. I'll be in touch.
Oh, Christ.
Wonder what he's got on his mind.
Sex.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, he manages to track her down to her second job as an aerobics instructor. And after she runs him into the ground when he joins her class, he then observes her accosting, well, several guys are accosting a woman, and she intervenes, and he sees her do some pretty cool stuff. Well, Billy rushes to her aid and puts her under arrest for assaulting these gentlemen. Actually, it's just a ruse for them to get out of there because there's way too many. Anyway, as he's driving her home, she insults him, which angers him, and he yells at her and tells her to get out of his car. This suddenly changes her whole attitude. And she invites him back to her place, where we get the weirdest seduction scene I think anyone's ever done. Yeah. I'm sure lots of people want to play weird games with V8 juice. Sonny will be back whenever she gets over whatever that was. Anyways, after a night of passion, we cut to the next morning, where an important visitor from Japan arrives in LA. That is, of course, real-life ninja Sho Kosugi. He made many ninja films. At Canon, he played a villain in Enter the Ninja, in which the good guy ninja was played by Franco Nero. And then in the second ninja movie, he was the star in Revenge of the Ninja. And then in this one, he's sort of a secondary hero who really doesn't do much till the end. And it's probably why he left Canon after this film, where where he would go to other companies and make such great ninja films as Nine Deaths of the Ninja and Ninja Pray for Death. Anyway, the next day on the job, Billy stops by to say hey to Christy, and she notices in the car is his partner, Case, who was one of the men that shot the Dark Ninja. She follows them to Case's home. And then, that night,
No.
told you that golf ball scene was important. Sunny's back because she knows we're about to get some ninja action.
What the? Please?
The next day, Billy sees Yamada at the crime scene as an onlooker. When he looks again, gone. Back to the station, Christy comes by to talk to him and shows him she has a strange bruise that she has no idea how she got. She also sees Officer Jimenez with two prostitutes. Another one who shot down the Dark Ninja. Going into her trance, she follows them to a massage parlor, where she decides to join them in the hot tub.
Let's get out of here. What is she doing to him? I don't know, but no!
Well, after this second blackout, Christy goes to see a doctor who can find nothing wrong with her. And then she goes to see a psychiatrist who can find nothing wrong with her. Although they do mention she has a slight ESP ability. Slight ESP. Never mind. So, she and Billy head to a priest who, well, a Japanese priest who may be able to help them, where they discover she's possessed and he tries to do an exorcism.
Help me! Oh, Billy, help me! I'm scared.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Why? Well, as the great James Hong tells us, she is possessed by a dark ninja. Very strong magic. And then he gives us the tagline for this movie.
Only a ninja can destroy a ninja.
Hey, speaking of ninjas, Yamada is over at the morgue stealing the body of the Dark Ninja. And it is here that we get a flashback to show what it is that Yamada has to do with all of this. Yep, the Dark Ninja not only killed Yamada's clan, but took his eye. Which is why he has that cool eye patch. Well, Christy's back at the station hanging out with Billy when she sees two more police officers. Let's see, it's Pickett and Winslow. They mention they're going to be at Case's funeral that afternoon. Christy rushes home and tries not to think about them, but the katana will not be denied. And in one of the most 80s special effects scenes, she gets repossessed. So, donning her ninja outfit, she then secrets herself in a tree and prepares to strike from the shadows. And then there's just pandemonium. And there's a chase. And the Dark Ninja kills several other policemen, getting away, where Yamada starts chasing. And then, at an abandoned house, we finally get to see Sho Kasugi in action. Okay, that wasn't that great. Mostly he just got knocked around. But at that point the police arrive and he helps the Dark Ninja escape. He himself is arrested and Billy talks to him. Where Yamada admits, yes, he is a ninja. He is after the Dark Ninja and that Christy is in trouble and he needs to bring her to the temple and they can have the spirit moved back to the body and then he can kill him. Of course he's handcuffed, but Yamada's a ninja, so after Billy leaves he just incapacitates the three guys in the car and gets out. Billy doesn't have it quite so easy.
Christy, no. Christy, no.
Christy!
Yes, Billy was the last of the police that was left for the Dark Ninja to revenge himself upon. But because Christy loves him, the Dark Ninja can't kill him. She won't let him. So she runs to the temple, which is where Billy said he was going to take her. He chases, wrecks his car, and has to get there another way. Christy shows up at the temple where she fights with Yamada, and then the spirit is removed from her. Once returned to his body, the Dark Ninja hypnotizes all the monks in the temple, and they attack Yamada, and he has to defeat them all without killing them. Once that accomplished, finally we get a fight between Sho Kasugi and David Chung, who played the Dark Ninja. it is at this point Christy decides she's going to help out. Now, it is at this point that the original ending was that the ninja would die. Christy then becoming a master ninja, which is how she was able to kill him. And she and Billy cannot be together because she has to leave with Yamada. That didn't go over well. So instead, they had the Dark Ninja pull out the katana, burrow down into the ground, and cause a massive sinkhole where Yamada climbs down to search for his foe. And then Yamada climbs out of the pit, tells them it's over. They all bow to each other. And then as he walks away, Billy and Christy lay a big wet one on each other. Cue the credits. I really like this film. I think it's a lot of fun. Well, I do. Where are you going? Apparently, she's not a fan. It does have its problems. It's a little too convoluted. What with the ninja assassin, the demonic possession, the cutesy love story, the very, very underused Shokasugi, and this didn't become a big hit, and it was probably confusing to a lot of people. It's not your standard film, but I like films that mix genres, like Hercules against the Moon Men, or Billy the Kid versus Dracula, where they take some stuff and mash it together. This was also the last of the original ninja movies that Cannon would make. Their next project they wanted for Chuck Norris was American Ninja. That was changed to Invasion USA because Norris had wanted to kind of get away from the martial arts style films he had been making and do something a little more general action. So that concept got rewritten. They cast Michael Dudikoff, and for a time he was Cannon's go-to action ninja star. He played in several American Ninja movies and in another Chuck Norris film that Chuck Norris turned down, Avenging Force. But back to this one. As I said, I kind of like it. It is so goofy. The romance is almost ridiculous between these two. They meet. They don't like each other. Oh, I forgot my gloves again. And I usually have to take my gloves off to work my mouse. But can't be a ninja without your gloves. Anyhow. Where was I? Oh yeah. They dislike each other. She insults him. He yells at her. And suddenly, she falls in love with him. Could have probably done without the romance, but the two actors, Lucinda Dickey and the man playing Billy, they do have good chemistry together. This stems from the fact that they became friends, and would jog together in the morning before shooting started. And they had a friendship that continued past this film. And, they still keep in touch and tell each other about their families and stuff, so that's kind of nice. I really like Lucinda Dickey's performance here, especially when she starts to, she's having blackouts and she's starting to get concerned, and there's a lot of stress she's under, and I think she gives a really good performance. One of the things I liked is that when she's possessed, her eyes get slightly, the points get slightly down to approximate, an Asian-style countenance, but not too much so that it becomes ridiculous. It's just like a slight modification. And there's like gray streaks in her hair. And that's only so that you can tell when she's possessed and when she isn't. But a lot of goofiness, like the exorcism scene where she's spinning around. And they go to this guy pretty quickly. I mean, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Yeah, I got a guy down in the Asian crime department, and he knows this priest. He thinks he might be able to help. Where does that come from? Oh, that guy that was killed at the beginning? He was a famous scientist. They kind of dropped that in the middle of the film. Just kind of, oh yeah, that guy that was killed, he was a famous scientist. Never brought up again. But yeah, it's not going to tax your brain. I am surprised Mystery Science Theater or Riff Tracks never got a hold of this one. It's right up their alley because it's so bizarre. But given the fact that these are ninjas and they're doing most of their stuff in the daylight, the first massive fight is like in bright sunlight of the middle of the afternoon. They're supposed to be stealthy, and this is just and I kind of like the absurdity of it. But then I like absurd films, as you probably noticed from a few weeks ago when I just kept praising the Roger Corman film Creature from the Haunted Sea. So yeah, I have odd tastes. But I think it's not a great film. It's a fun film, and but if you're looking for something a little more really ninja-like, yeah, go with the Kasugi's Revenge of the Ninja, and his other two, which were Pray for Death and 9 Deaths of the Ninja. Those are really good ninja movies. And if you want more absurd stuff, check out Richard Harris's films he made with Godfrey Ho. Okay, technically he only made one, but Godfrey Ho recycled his footage endlessly. Please hit like, share, and subscribe, and stay after the credits for my favorite scene.
Get out. Get out. Run.